Hello, beautiful specimen, and welcome to my channel, or back to my channel. And we're getting real close to the holidays, so I'm gonna let you guys say happy holidays right now. My throat hurts a little bit, so if I sound off, that's why. Also ignore my acne, because that's bad for some reason. I'm here today with my roommate, and we are going to be doing a Christmas light look. That is what I have done so far on my mannequin. However, Lynn's makeup looks came out with her version of it, and they actually look like they're glowing, so I'm going to take a little bit of inspiration from that. Sorry, Lynn's, that I always get bad pictures of you. And let's get into it.
Alrighty, so first one is, am I the a-hole for refusing to call my friend by her new name, Queen?
Pretty sure it's illegal for you to be named Queen anyways, but...
I can name my child a gamer tag, so there's a lot of gray areas with names.
Well, yeah.
My partner's friend, 25F, socially changed her name from the name her mom gave her to a name she chose for herself. She is cisgender, by the way. Her name change is due to her wanting to reinvent herself, and her name, Queen, reflects how she thinks of herself and how she wants others to see her. Her social media usernames and profiles reflect her new name, and people she's met in the past few years call her by the name she's introduced herself as. I'd be glad to support her in the autonomy she seeks by naming herself, but my issue is that she wants everyone to call her Queen. Within the friend group, I noticed that sometimes her old friends slip up and call her by her given name. But you can see that it doesn't sit well with her, and that being dead named bothers her. Sometimes she'll politely correct, but not within larger groups. Sometimes her friends self-correct and call her Queen. Since Queen and King are used as terms of praise, reverence, or endearment, I am very hesitant to call this person Queen. I simply don't feel that way about her. That says, if she tells a funny joke or I'm fondly greeting her, it's easy to call her Queen. It just doesn't feel like a name to me. It feels more like a title. I don't feel right calling my peer Queen. If she were to change her name to a name that means Queen, like Rena or Reina, I wouldn't experience any unease with calling her such. I avoid using any name to refer to her. If I do use a name, I try to say Queen, but if I'm not in a good mood or if I'm annoyed with her, I don't bring myself to say it. I asked if I can call her Q, and she said no. My name is Queen. Perhaps I would feel differently if it were a stage name. And that's it.
I mean, I know someone that changed their name. They were in high school. They changed their name. I'm not going to specify, so that way I'm not putting anyone's business out there. But it wasn't anything like that. It wasn't like Queen or anything. I agree that it should have been something that means Queen rather than just Queen, because, I mean, we're not a monarchy. I don't know where they are, but we're not a monarchy. And so technically it holds no real meaning to us, but it's still a proper type term. It's definitely a gray area. I don't think I'd be comfortable with calling someone Queen unless it was like a drag queen, you know?
Yeah. It has been deemed not the a-hole because a lot of people were like, yes, this is a title and the person wants to be identified and seen as a queen when they could have chosen any other name.
Literally.
Like she said, you can choose a name that means queen, but no, she went to just say, I only want to be called Queen.
Yeah, no, a name meaning queen would be completely different.
But it's definitely a lot of those comments just about, no, it's they're being an a-hole, especially because you're trying to be polite and just say Q. And
yeah, the fact that she's not even okay with Q is wild.
Well,
granted, when I say Q, I think of Impractical Jokers. That's not the point.
I'd be fine being compared to that. Next one is, am I the a-hole for refusing to buy my husband any more gifts? I, 35F, have been with my husband James, 39M, for 12 years. and we have this argument like clockwork every single birthday and Christmas, but I've had enough. I hate surprises and I hate surprise gifts, even more because I lived in clutter with my parents, and being forced to keep a present to not offend someone bothers me because then I grapple with frustration, guilt, and general annoyance because now there's a thing taking up space that I don't know what to do with. James, on the other hand, loves surprise gifts, but he is super picky. He does this thing where he will tell someone, oh, I'm alright with anything. But when he gets that anything, he'll make some remark about how he actually wanted XYZ, which dampens the mood and makes him sound so childishly ungrateful. It drives me mad, and because the most hypocritical thing is that if I do that to him, i.e. say, oh, I actually wanted XYZ, he'll get upset and say that I should be grateful. E.g., he bought me a dress that he thought I'd like for my birthday, despite me telling him over and over and over and over and over again how much I would like a specific pair of earrings. I gave a weak thanks and he was all sulky all evening, especially when my friends bought me something else off my wish list and I was so happy. And it's not about the price either, because the thing he surprises me with are always either more expensive or around the same price as what I actually asked for. Now, I've tried my hardest to figure out what he'd like, but I've always somehow missed the mark. For instance, one year I managed to force him to tell me that he'd like any, keyword here, Apple product. But when I got him a new iPad to replace his old one, he said that he'd actually prefer AirPods. I returned the iPad and he got upset. Another year, he told me he wanted jogging socks from a specific brand, but when he got them, he said he actually wanted another variant of it. Another year, he kept talking about a specific type of wallet for 6 months straight, sending me posts about it, reviews, whatever. And I got it for him, thinking I've cracked the code. You know what he said? If you guessed, actually, I want something else, then you're absolutely correct. Rinse and repeat. This year, I tried to ask him again to at least give me a hint to work with, and he playfully told me to surprise him. Years of pent-up frustration got the best of me, and I told him that he's an ungrateful child and I will not be surprising him. If he wasn't going to tell me, then he gets nothing. I also told him to stop surprising me with stuff I don't even want, because he's a hypocrite whose feelings will get hurt if I don't fall to my knees thanking him. I exaggerate. For something I don't want. I'm done coddling him over gifts because it's stupid and causing undue stress to me. As per the usual, he's gone off the sulk and I feel terrible for lashing out at him. Am I the a-hole?
I mean, no.
Um,
I would say no, because, like, you're doing everything you can to get him what he wants. And it's just not going well for him. Also, I did not address this. I did just get this, so I have to be careful around it. And I'm doing the string lights right now, so they don't have to be perfect. They're string lights. They're tangled. They don't have to look the same on either side, kind of deal. But anyways, back to the story. No.
there was
Blowing up on him maybe a little bit, but ultimately no.
There was a thing of why not just give him cash.
Literally.
OP says, I thought that would be a reasonable middle ground, but nope, he says it's so impersonal. It was kind of just deemed not enough information.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's in the middle ground of not knowing what it really is. I say it's a bit of both because yeah, the husband's being super childish and if it's a gift, even if you don't want it or if you don't like it, you still say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I get, but both of them are always, either side are just not happy with anything they got unless it's what they exactly wanted. And if that's the case, just buy it yourself. Like, what's the problem with just spending your own money?
Either bite your tongue and say thank you, or ask for cash. At this point in my life, whenever I'm asked what I want for Christmas, per se, or my birthday, I just say money. So that way I don't have to worry about it, that way I don't have to fully explain to them, like, this is exactly what I want, and it being out of their price range, or stuff like that, because my mom and my sister, actually, asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I told them I wanted liner brushes. And they like makeup, they use makeup, but they don't do makeup like I'm doing makeup, especially the way I'm doing it right now. So they aren't necessarily super familiar with liner brushes, and I gave them, speaking of Lynn's again, I gave them her, what was it? It was her Blend Bunny and something cosmetics. Listen Cosmetics, I think. collab because they have wet liners and eyeshadows that are very, very pretty. So you either gotta be extremely specific or just ask for cash. It's the easiest way to go about it.
Oh, I was saying, no, you're done. My bad.
Yeah, you're good.
No, I'm saying, like, money is safe as bet. I mean, my family calls me every time, like, you know what you're getting, right? Cash, you're getting cash. It's not impersonal. It's still a gift. Truthfully, no matter what, you're getting free money. If it's like, let's say a Funko Pop, or if it's just cold hard cash, you're getting a gift. I can just give you nothing.
Quite literally. The other thing I ask for anything like that is tattoos or piercings. Which is how I got this one. This one's another Christmas gift.
Next one. Am I the a-hole for telling a mom that I don't care about her daughter being dumped by my son? My son Dylan dated Melanie since the 10th grade. They are now juniors. Dylan dumped her last week, and Melanie took it hard. I got a text yesterday from Melanie's mom to call her. She wanted me to bring back Melanie's sweater that she left at our house a couple of weeks ago. I said sure. I told her she could pick it up. The mom came and said that I should talk to Dylan about how much he hurt Melanie. Melanie was very attached to my son, and my son broke up with her in the quote-unquote wrong way. I told her I wasn't talking to my son about anything. They're high schoolers and stuff like this happens all the time, and Melanie isn't special. My son doesn't owe you or Melanie an apology for not wanting to date her anymore. Dylan wasn't mean about it. He just said that he didn't want to be in a relationship because he wanted to spend more time with his friends. The mom said that was BS. I said I don't care. He doesn't need a reason. It's none of your business. She asked me if I cared about how my son treated his girlfriends. I said, do you care about how your daughter treats their boyfriends? She said it was different. I told her I had nothing left to say except I don't care about her or her daughter. Edit. Not that it matters, but I'm not the mom. And that's it. Short and simple. I mean, if you're in a relationship...
They're in high school, like...
Juniors, is that when you're in your second year?
Junior's third year.
So they're 16, 17.
Yeah, something like that. But even so, like... half the time in high school relationships, one, they don't end up lasting.
Wait.
And two,
you said
half the time they break up over texts.
You said that's 11th grade, right?
Yeah.
They were dating for the 10th grade. They weren't even dating for more than like a year.
That's still, regardless, that's still a long time for high school.
It still is.
But like getting hyper attached, I can't say a whole lot because I dated people in high school. One of my best relationships was out of high school, and that was 2 years. But yeah.
It's definitely not an a-hole thing because if it truthfully says if I was in the shoes and my mother went to the other mother or like that, I would feel more embarrassed about it and I would look stupid. It's my relationship. It's not anyone else's business. And if it happens, unfortunately, yeah, it's going to hurt, but time will pass.
I mean, the girl clearly trusts her mother to go to her needed her for, which is totally fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But, yeah.
It's a tough road. Next, you got time for more?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Am I the a-hole for not going on my family vacation 2 months after giving birth? In May, my 23F husband's 26M parents planned a huge family beach vacation. Brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, and all. For his grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary for next summer. And we had 100% planned on going. However, we found out in September that we are expecting a baby and the due date is 2 months before the trip. I told my in-laws that we will not be able to go in the trip as I don't want to travel with a 2-month-old baby across the country. And that we also cannot afford to take the extra week off of work because I will not have a paid maternity leave. His mom is very frustrated with me because they were planning on having me and my husband drive his grandparents down with us, which we were never told or even asked, and that a baby is completely fine to travel 700 miles after 2 months. When I bring up my concerns about not being able to afford to live, she'll say, well, let's just hope he's born a week or two late. Which I think that's kind of like, weird and crappy to hope for.
Yeah.
My husband is completely on my side, and his siblings/cousins are mixed. Some saying we should honor committing to go because we said we would before we knew. Others understanding our concerns. So, am I the a-hole for not going on a family trip after giving birth to my first baby? Edit, forgot to add this, but a big reason I feel like an a-hole is because my husband's grandparents are quite older, and his parents keep saying this will be the last vacation they will probably take before they pass. So guilt trip.
Yeah, that's guilt tripping. Like, no, you are not the a-hole for not going. That is a completely reasonable, thing to not want to go.
And first off, it's going to be a 2-month-old baby.
Hey,
max.
leave that alone.
Like a 2-month-old baby max.
Yeah, no.
That's incredibly unsafe for the baby because first off, it's going to go on a flight across the country.
Just chewing on that. Take that.
Not the Squishmallow.
Yeah.
But across the country where it's not even that strong to, it's like anything that's even around with it.
Not to mention the immune system.
Yeah.
Like
even as a grown adult, saying when we came to Germany to work, we all got hit really hard because it's an entirely different immune system process. Your body has to get used to it.
It's an entirely different continent.
A new baby can't even, it's not even prepared for its own living area yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, but to pressure them with a 2-month-old to travel is entirely irresponsible. Because would they do that if they had a child like that at that age? Absolutely not.
Well, to be fair, it's the same thing as people have been saying before, your firstborn versus your third. The parents would that's probably why they feel like it's fine, because they're like, I've put this many children in the world, they're fine.
Every child's different.
Yeah, literally.
It's definitely not the a-hole. It has been deemed not the a-hole, by the way.
Good.
Right. Am I the a-hole for snapping at my mom for telling people I'm gay? My 20M sister, 14, was reading a book yesterday when she asked me, what does a Greek god look like? I asked her why she's asked me that, and she showed me a passage saying a guy has the features of a Greek god. So I told her, muscular and handsome. I noticed my mom giving me a weird look and asked her if something's wrong. She said nothing. Later, she asked me if I like my best friend 20M because he's tall and muscular. I was taken aback. As it turns out, she had always assumed he and I are gay, which is not the case. I quickly told her we are not gays, but she didn't believe me, saying the way we behave around each other leaves no other possible interpretation. So I told her she should stop trying to interpret and see things that are not there. She said okay before telling me she told her friends that I am gay, but haven't come out to her yet, and that she was worried about me keeping it bottled up inside. I snapped at her for it. I have nothing against gays, but I don't want them to think I'm one when I'm not, since it'll only lead to awkwardness. Not to mention, one of them has a daughter I have a crush on and might ask out. She said she only told them because she was worried about me and wanted some advice on what to do. That's terrible reasoning.
So guys can't think other guys are attractive and not be attracted to them? That's wild, because I am a completely straight cis female, and I think other women are attractive. Am I attracted to them? No. Are they attractive? Yes. There is nothing wrong with thinking the same sex is attractive.
That's why you just say would. And she's like, when two guys hang out, every person knows when two guys hang out, they will be the worst things imaginable to each other, act like they're in a 5-year-long marriage, and just say, all right, see you later, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's how dudes act with each other, because that's most of the humor. It's just funny. It's not being rude or offensive. If someone's offended by it, most guys will stop it. It's just the way guys act out with each other. It happens all the time at work.
Females are even more like on that borderline than males. Like females, a lot of them will hold hands. Some guys don't care, but most girls don't care if they're sleeping in the same bed, sharing each other's clothes, hugging, like all that stuff. Women are more apt to that. That doesn't mean they're attracted to their best friend.
See, y'all do it physically, guys do it verbally.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way. But no, that's and just to tell all of them that your son is gay is breaking his trust of you because he's telling you over and over that it's not there and to stop looking that way, and you still go behind his back and say it's this way. You're ruining your trust with him, and he's gonna hate you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one. Am I the a-hole for choosing my fiance over my best friend of 3 years?
Okay.
It's a very short one. So for context, my fiance has recently been diagnosed with a chronic illness and some days will wake up feeling horrible. So I prefer to take care of her rather than go out because my love for her is bigger than anything else. My best friend knew about this, but her boyfriend needed a ride to work one morning because he didn't have a car. Now, my friend lives in the same neighborhood as me, so she asked if I could take him the night before. Typically, I wouldn't have an issue with it, but at this time, my fiance had been having a really bad flare-up this night and had just fallen asleep. So I ended up telling my friend no because I wanted to make sure that my girl was okay in the morning right after she woke up because sometimes it worsens, and I explained that to her. Rather than her being understanding, she told me, quote unquote, it's always something with her. After that, I stopped replying and I haven't really spoken to her since because she knew the circumstances, but still decided to blame me for her boyfriend having to find a different ride or Uber to work. No, this is not the first time my friend has made comments like this, and in the past, I have always defended my partner. So, great person, terrible friend.
Get a car, maybe.
Just Uber.
Yeah,
Walk.
or Uber.
Bus.
Call a family friend, call a different friend. Walk. That's always an option.
There's always another option, but it's probably because they were in the same neighborhood, so it's like, oh, I can just go bug them. I mean, if they even needed to, you can borrow my car if you got a license, and you pay me my gas money. You just got to get a passenger's insurance, so if they break anything, you're not liable.
Considering the way that the friend's reacting to that, I don't even think I would lend them my car. I would be uncomfortable with that.
No, at that point, probably not. I'm trying to find one. Am I the a-hole for not getting to know a possible half-sibling?
Okay.
This is the first one I found. I, 35F, had my bio father walk out when I was 5 years old. Turns out my mother cheated and my sister was not his child. He didn't bother with me after that. I'm going to say now, it's kind of hard not to blame the dad.
Yeah.
My paternal grandma was so furious at his behavior, they became estranged, and for some unknown reason, my aunt took my father's side and so cut my grandma out. My grandma threw herself into loving me and my half-sister, who she treated as her own, even paying for us both to go to private school. My father passed away when I was in my late teens, and honestly, I felt nothing. Sadly, my grandmother passed away earlier this year. She left me the whole estate, but did not converted about 80. Oh, I read that wrong. But did give about 80K to my sister. This was not good enough for my sister, who was challenging the will. My aunt has also come to the scene after 25 years and is trying the same, but I am told they have no claim. Now it gets weird. I have recently been contacted by a man, M, who is in his early 20s and is claiming to be my long-lost half-brother. M is saying he was born around the time my father died, and he wants to get to know his sister / this part of the family. He's being quite pushy and trying to get to know more about me, contacting me on all socials, trying to get my home address, etc. I want nothing to do with this. This has led to my sister and aunt calling me an a-hole for not getting to know him. I expected this given the current situation, but my own mother is taking their side, saying I should get to know him. I am being told it is what my grandma would want, and I'm going against her ideals while, quote unquote, taking all her money. Happy enough. My husband supports me, but as warned, I am walking a thin line and could become TA easily, as I don't know the whole story here. Oh, the a-hole. I don't know this man. I don't think I owe him anything, and frankly, I find the timing and support he seems to be getting to be suspicious. So, am I the a-hole?
I would say slight, but not entirely. Because, like, if he can prove that he is a long-lost sibling of some sort, then, I mean, I would want to know. But that's not for everyone. Not everyone wants that sort of life, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it was deemed not the a-hole. And because they made a good point, it is kind of suspicious of the timing of the aunt and the sister wanting to get more money out of the will.
That's why I said if he could prove it.
And then this guy randomly shows up. Even if he shows it, I still want to know why now. You had multiple years. Because you're in your 20s.
Mm-hmm.
You could have contacted at any of these times, but now you're being super pushy out of the blue, saying you're my long lost half sibling.
Yeah, being that pushy is a little wild, but
and it's most likely from the father's side, so obviously she wants something to do with her father. This isn't really a good light.
mm-hmm.
I'd say it's not the a-hole because also personally it's your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you're already dealing with the aunt and your half-sister trying to get more out of you. The aunt wasn't getting anything but now wants stuff, and the sister wants more than $80,000, which is ridiculous.
I would love for that money. That is plenty of money.
It's
that would help with a lot of stuff.
I think OP is getting like the whole estate, which is like, okay, not to be rude, but you're not a cheater, baby. You were the biological.
Mm-hmm.
It's not being rude to the half sister. Just don't know how she acted throughout the whole life. If she was like entitled or anything.
You're not going to know because you weren't there to witness it. So that's one of the hardest parts about these.
Yeah. Am I the a-hole for not chasing down the waitress? Bless you. Bless you times 2.
Thank you. Ow.
So, I'm at a Tex-Mex joint with my husband and 2 teenage kids. The service and food was decent, and we were having a pretty good time. Out of nowhere, a party of 30 walks in, sending our waitress into a tailspin. Jesus. It took her a few extra minutes to get my husband's second beer, so he was getting annoyed. Then he got even more annoyed when it took some extra time for her to return to our table with the check. He shoved his debit card in her hand as she walked by and then got more irritated when she didn't come back with it right away. He was trying to force me or my kids to go chase her down to get the card back, but we were hesitant to make a scene, especially because she was running around like a chicken trying to get drinks to additional tables. Finally, 5 minutes later, she came back with his card and we left, and he was ranting and raving the whole time home about how unacceptable the service was and was really mad at me for not trying hard enough to get the check in a timely manner. He ruined our night and thinks I owe an apology for not sticking up for him. You're a man.
Bro's never worked in customer service or a restaurant.
And if 30 walk in...
Dude, that's a huge table.
Like, that's a lot of orders. That's a lot of drinks. And it's seeming like she's like, all these tables are on her own besides them. You're going out.
I hated big tables.
It's like you're going out. Not to be rude, but the waitress is trying to satisfy the 30 table with your 4.
Mm-hmm.
You will take 30 seconds while that table will take 20 minutes.
Be patient. Like, if you see a 30 table walk in, be patient. She's doing the best she can. She is only one person.
Exactly. And it's obvious she's trying to move. It's not like you're ranting when all you did, like you're asking, I'm assuming wife or husband, the OP's gender is not revealed. It's like, why are you asking them to stick up for you? If you want your card back so bad, get up and do it yourself. You're not owed an apology.
No.
It's and especially because you ruined the night for the family. Everyone else was having a fun time, but I guess you were that mad. And they confirmed it. They had nowhere else to go that night.
You had nowhere else to be, and you're being obnoxious because your waitress got a 30 tap. Wild. That is... I strongly dislike people that are like that. Like, have some manners, have some patience. You try working in a restaurant for a night and getting a 30 tap. Yeah, good luck.
It's like, I'm sorry, but that's just ridiculous service. Do you have time for one more?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, because I see you're almost done with your lights.
I still have a decent bit to do. You could probably do 2 more.
I really like this story. Would I be the a-hole if I got my roommate his own set of dishes for Christmas?
Probably not.
I, 25F, moved in with my friend 22M a couple of months ago. I have lived with roommates before, but this is his first time moving away from his parents. We first decided we should just split groceries, but it ended up that I would do all of the grocery shopping. He would pay his part and then eat all of the easy to grab food before I can get some for myself. I have talked to him about this and we decided it would be best to do groceries separately. Since he moved out, he has been using my dishes, which isn't a problem. I just have a small set, so dishes would just need to be done more often. My problem comes from him keeping a lot of the dishes in his room and bringing them all out at once with dried food on it.
Ew.
He will just leave them in the sink and never do the dishes. I've had to talk with him about this too, because if he's going to make a mess, he should clean it up. He says things like dishes shouldn't be left to him because he is busy and doesn't want to deal with it. Talking to him doesn't seem to be helping, and I don't want to be mean, but I'm also a student and working a job and don't want to come home and clean up after someone like I'm their mom. So for Christmas, I want to get him his own set so he can be responsible for his dishes, and I would be responsible for mine. Would I be the a-hole if I did that? If so, what should I do instead? Edit. We have disposable silverware and plates for when we have friends over. He just doesn't use them. Every time I try to talk to him about it, he says, I can't do this right now, or we can talk about this when I move out. When I try to talk to him about household responsibilities, it's like pulling teeth to get an answer. But when I make an executive decision, because he refuses to communicate, he gets upset. So talking isn't really getting us anywhere.
I don't think it's an a-hole move to give him dishes. I mean, to be honest, if that were me and I was getting fed up with him and it was bad, I would probably just gift him his dirty dishes back. But that's just me being petty.
A lot of people are calling, it's like they're not the a-hole for doing this, but why are you letting him stay with you?
Yeah.
He is treating her like a mom because, as stated, that's his first time out without his parents. So he's definitely a kid that got used to his parents doing everything.
Yeah.
And making excuses and getting away with it. So she's just gonna... Someone's petty revenge was to pack up all her dishes, lock them in her room, and fill the whole house with plastic. Cups, plastic,
That's fair.
Forks, everything. If he can't do the dishes, he doesn't get the dishes.
That's fair.
I find that amazing.
Like I said, my petty butt would gift the dirty dishes back. But locking them up is probably the better move.
I just think it's that I like these revenge. Like that would be great revenge. But honestly, if he kept it up, I would kick him out. Because he's acting like a child and he needs to learn to grow up. And the real world does not give you time because you don't deserve the time.
Yeah, like, good luck living on your own in the future. You're gonna have a rude awakening.
Am I the a-hole for refusing responsibility to dress toddler according to mother-in-law preferences?
Okay.
In our household, 2-year-old toddler, both working full-time. Okay, the sentencing in this is throwing me off. I am the default parent and main mental load bearer. My husband does the laundry and has some other responsibilities, but I am the one doing the big ones. His parents help us out a lot, which I'm super grateful for. I have severe postpartum anxiety, neurodivergent, and a history of GAD, and got panic attacks when our LO, little one, was 6 months and she was a very demanding baby. I'm also just learning how to set boundaries better and ask for help, which I have been very bad at previously. Now to the question. His mother hates the color red, for whatever reason. I am already avoiding any red clothing or toy items for our child as well as for myself. Next week, the daycare is closed due to the holidays, and my in-laws will look after little one, which again, I am super grateful for.
It went in my eye.
Ooh.
Ow.
Now, this morning, after doing morning routine, making coffee and breakfast for everyone, getting our toddler dressed and ready to take her to daycare, which I do every day, we just recently installed the rule that he also gets up and helps me with it. Prior, he slept in every morning. Since she was born, and in 26 months, I have not been the one to get up on exactly 5 occasions. He suddenly asks that I next week, when our little one goes to his parents instead of daycare, take care that I dress her in blue and green and only, and avoid, this English is throwing me off, because it literally says, and avoid and hues or shades of anything red, as his mother doesn't like it. I refused and said that I was not willing to add the shade of red as something to keep in mind on top of everything else. I don't understand the English. It's throwing me off badly.
Mm-hmm.
I know it is a simple request and I could easily do it, but I am not just so fed up with the ever-growing demands that I feel like simply saying no and stop, this is enough. Am I the a-hole for this?
It's your child, not hers.
Like, if my mother-in-law doesn't like red, I'm just going to say cool and still wear what I want to wear. It's a child. And it is my child.
Literally.
They have been deemed not the a-hole.
Because they're not. It's their own child.
Like, it doesn't matter. It's a color.
Maybe the child likes the color red.
I feel like at that point, it's going to be a very demanding petty baby. That's only going to want to wear red. Do you have time for another?
If you can find a really short one.
Oh, this one's like 3 paragraphs. But I really like, this one's, am I the a-hole for leaving my mom's place after seeing how messy it was?
Probably not.
It's 4 paragraphs if you want me to.
I don't really have time for that because I'm about to do my finishing touches.
Save it for another time. This one's true. Am I the a-hole for opening my Christmas gifts a day later?
Oh, okay.
I, 27F, and my husband, 27M, are living on a different continent than my family. We are visiting my family this year, and our travel time will be above 20 hours total. We were able to only get a flight that would arrive right on Christmas. I was talking to my mom earlier and told her that we will probably be very exhausted because of the lack of sleep and traveling time. She immediately offered that we would open the presents the next day and only have the food in the evening. In their country, we opened the gifts on the evening of the 24th. I agreed because I'd like to be a part of the gift exchange. Well, I was talking to my brother, 33M, a little later, and he was immediately upset. I told him that it's more important that we are able to sit together and have a nice evening. He was not pleased by that. I also told him, hey, we are traveling very long to be able to visit in time, and we would like a break after, which he immediately answered to, and I do things right after arriving too and don't take a break. Keep in mind, his traveling time is 5 hours only by train, and he's arriving a few days earlier. I told him that, and he got upset too, so we hung up. He's just been very self-centered lately, and I used to look up to him. But maybe I am the a-hole here? Should I just push through? Keep in mind, our gift opening takes always 3 hours, and is after dinner, which takes 2 to 3 as well.
Dang, gift opening taking 2 to 3 hours? That's wild.
Well, it's probably like just grabbing one present out of the tree, passing it around. You're watching one person open a present every time.
Okay, and after a 20-hour trip, no, I don't. You're not. No. No.
Like, why does it matter? It's Christmas gifts. Like, it's like, literally the thing of Christmas is supposed to be together, not even the gifts.
They're lucky that they can even go home for Christmas. Like,
They're on a
for example, military members can't always go home for Christmas. Like,
Hi.
yeah.
Yeah, hey, the post office really needs a lot of work. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the point, is we're not even getting Christmas Eve off. We have to work Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just how the world runs. There's some jobs that, albeit most jobs,
My friend Ray works on Christmas.
yeah,
Literally on Christmas.
but they get paid more money for it because it's a holiday.
Yeah.
So like it's fair. It's not unfair service, but it does suck.
Yeah, it's not great, but like some people work on Christmas to where they literally can't leave, or Christmas Eve, or literally like those tickets have gotta be expensive too. Jeez.
Yeah, but still, like the brother just being like all over that and just saying, "And okay, cool. What's all the gifts that I got him? If he's so adamant about it, I'll just take him back."
Literally.
I don't get it. It's Christmas. It's actually, yeah. I would care more about the dinner. If the dinner got delayed, okay, then maybe I understand. It's food.
But alright, I'm gonna do my finishing touches and I will be right back. And I am back with the finished look. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And I will also show you what this looks like in the dark since I put the lights in my hair. Well, at least a darker spot. Alright. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!